guys, it's Kira and welcome to what is going to be a very exciting autumn announcement. But before we get into that, I just want to take a moment to appreciate this beauty. I feel like in any autumn video I make, especially one that has any kind of like spooky vibe or talking about anything that's like super Halloween-y, I always complain about the fact that despite having a extensive mug collection, which some people would wrongly say is too big, my boyfriend included, who always complains I have too many mugs, I don't actually have any autumnal mugs, which is a travesty in and of itself, but especially because I proclaim myself as an autumn lover and even fanatic, so the fact that I didn't have any autumn mugs was just plain wrong. But I mentioned this to my mum and lo and behold, she found me this pumpkin mug which has a lid. I mean, could it get better than that? I really don't think so. And this mug seemed like the ideal choice for today's autumn announcement. So without further ado, let's get into it. So with my pumpkin mug in hand, I'm very excited to tell you that from Friday the 8th of October until Sunday the 10th of October, I will be co-hosting the Fall Into Autumn Readathon alongside my friend Meg from the channel Pride and Fiction. It is a weekend dedicated to all of my favourite things: cosy vibes, autumn treats, watching great TV shows, and you know, doing a little bit of reading as well, because that is, I suppose, what this channel is all about. But it is going to be such a fun weekend. We did this readathon last year as well, and it was just so fun, so cosy, and we loved it. So when it came around to autumn again this year, we knew that we absolutely wanted to host the Fall Into Autumn Readathon again. Now, because this weekend is all about getting cozy, relaxing, and just embracing the autumn spirit, it is very casual, very calm. There's no pressure to read a million books across the weekend and, you know, like stay up all night watching horror movies and then reading every other second and, you know, not sleeping at all. That's not what this is all about. Instead, just very calm, very cozy, very chill, just a nice little autumn community. But we do have some prompts for the readathon to guide you along through your autumn weekend if you should choose to follow them. No pressure. If not, you can just join us and do whatever you want for the autumn weekend. But if you want a little bit more guidance for your weekend to add a little bit of autumn spirit in, then we have set out a few prompts, some bookish, some just generally cozy, and it's just going to be a great time. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes choosing a book can be really like daunting. You know, you don't know what you want to pick, you spend ages looking at your shelves and you have no idea by the end of like the staring session which book you're actually going to pick up, and it ends up being a little bit stressful. So we thought that the first prompt would be to get someone else to choose a book for you, because that way you get to read someone else's cozy recommendation, something that they love, which I always think is really nice, reading something that you know someone else loves. But also it takes the stress out of it for you, because it means you can just literally pick the book up, no thought required, and you can just enjoy the reading experience. Now, how you go about getting someone to pick that book for you is completely up to you. You can always reach me on Instagram at kirascorner_ and ask me to recommend a book for you. I would be more than happy to share some recommendations, especially if you have particular genres or styles that you really like. I'm sure Meg would also be open to sharing some recommendations, and of course, if there are any books that you've seen me read in a video that you like and haven't read yet, then you could take that as a recommendation. That would totally work. Or of course, if there are other booktubers you like, or people you know in real life, friends and family who could recommend you a book, then ask one of them. However you go about getting that recommendation is completely up to you. The only requirement is that it has come via someone else into your life. Now, the next prompt is very, very autumnal, but also very broad, because I personally feel like although autumn is a literal season, it's also kind of like a vibe and a feeling that is very unique to you. You know, what you think of as being like quintessentially autumnal might not feel that autumnal to someone else. And so the next prompt is to read a book with autumn vibes, and that is totally up to you what that means. For me, when I think of autumnal books, I often think of like murder mysteries and thrillers and horrors, but to other people that might just be genuinely terrifying and therefore not at all in the spirit of a cozy autumn readathon. So for you, you might want to go for like historical fiction or classics, or maybe reread a book that is by an author that you love and the nostalgia feels autumnal to you. So there's loads of different ways you could go about that, and it's completely up to you what has an autumn vibe and what doesn't. Now, moving on to some of the non-bookish prompts, probably my favourite prompt of the entire readathon is make an autumnal treat, because I mean, what could be better than that? I know for me, top of the list always is cinnamon rolls. I have already eaten one today. In fact, I got one for breakfast from a bakery and it was amazing, and I just think cinnamon rolls are incredible, but homemade cinnamon rolls, they hit different, so I'll definitely be making some cinnamon rolls. And although I think Meg and I were thinking more along the baking style of making an autumnal treat, you could also make like an autumnal meal if that's what takes your fancy, or even a hot drink. I know for me, the drink that feels like autumn in a mug is, oh my god, just threw tea all over myself, but it is a chai latte, oat milk chai. It doesn't get better than that. This morning I have already had 2. It's been a great day so far, cinnamon roll and 2 chai lattes. I'm living my best life, but that is what autumn is all about. So again, totally up to you what an autumnal treat is, but just make one and enjoy it. The next one is to take an autumnal photo, capture the season in a photo, whether you're going to a pumpkin patch or blackberry picking, or maybe you just go on a woodland walk, or even just a picture of you sitting by your bookshelves with a hot drink and a book in hand, something that feels like autumn to you. Take a picture of it and then share it with us on Instagram. And then the final prompt is to watch a TV show or movie that reminds you of autumn, because what could be better than that? Any guesses what I might be wanting to watch? La 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 la, Gilmore Girls, la 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 la. Yeah, I just love it. Gilmore Girls is autumn to me. Like autumn, Gilmore Girls, synonymous. They're like this, like they are one and the same. And I don't care whether it's a Gilmore Girls episode that is set at Christmas, whether it is a summer episode, or whether it's one that actually takes place in autumn. They all just feel autumnal to me. They feel nostalgic, they feel cozy, and they have all of the autumn vibes. So I'll definitely be spending probably more than just a little bit of time over the weekend watching Gilmore Girls. And am I going to spend more time watching Gilmore Girls than I am going to spend reading? Quite possibly, but sue me, it's my readathon. So those are all of the official prompts, but Meg and I thought it would also be fun to introduce a group book into the mix for this year. Now, like the prompts, the group book is totally optional, but Meg and I will both be reading it throughout the weekend and chatting about it, so if you would like to join in, then that would be really, really lovely. It's not a specifically autumn book, but I feel it does have like cozy autumn vibes, and extra bonus, if you do decide to read the group book, then that would also count as having had someone else pick the book for you, so that is immediately one prompt ticked off, which is lovely. So the book that we have gone for is The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner, which I'm very excited to read. Meg suggested it and immediately the title just sounded so perfect for this readathon, because Jane Austen is cozy in and of herself, and then a book that's about Jane Austen, I'm assuming about fans of hers and of her work, maybe a book club situation, just adds all the extra cozy elements in, and I cannot wait to read it. And while we are on the topic of Jane Austen, some of you may know that I'm currently hosting the All About Austen read-along. This is a 6-month-long read-along which started in August and is going all the way until January, and it is basically where we're going to be reading each of Jane Austen's 6 completed novels in publication order. So the September pick was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, of course, and at the end of each month, or actually the beginning of the next month, I'm doing a live show for the previous month's book where we discuss the novel. I'm usually joined by someone and we can chat all about the book and just all about Austen in general. And so, because the Pride and Prejudice novel was September's pick, the guest that I had lined up for this read-along was Meg from Pride and Fiction, because I mean, her name is a bit of a giveaway. She's a big fan of Pride and Prejudice. And so I had already invited Meg to be my co-host for the Pride and Prejudice live show, and seeing as we are getting together on that weekend in October for the Fall Into Autumn Readathon, we thought that would be the perfect time for our All About Austen live show where we can chat about Pride and Prejudice, and also, seeing as we'll already be talking about Jane, we may as well bring up the Jane Austen Society as our group pick. Our group pick 2 words. So as of right now, we think that that live show will be taking place on the Sunday the 10th of October, so the perfect way to finish off the readathon. Now I do have a Discord set up for the All About Austen read-along, which is where I will share the specific date and time, because that might still change, but it will be at some point throughout that weekend where we can finish off the readathon and chat all about Jane Austen, because what could be cozier than that? And I believe that is everything that you need to know about the Fall Into Autumn Readathon. I'm very excited about the Readathon, about this mug, and just about autumn in general. If you want to go and check out Meg, I would highly recommend doing so. Her channel is linked down below, and I'm very, very excited for this Readathon together. If you'll be joining, let us know in the comments down below. I would love to hear if you have any plans for what books you want to read, what TV shows you plan to watch, and what cosy autumn treats you plan to bake yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.